rush ahead to solutions, but I was learning that stability came from small, consistent things, not dramatic breakthroughs. Giovanni's call came on a Thursday morning while I was sorting Dad's medications into the weekly organizer. He said APS completed their preliminary review and substantiated concerns about financial exploitation, that the investigation would continue, but this initial finding validated everything we'd been saying. I asked what that meant for the criminal case, and he explained it wasn't a final determination, but it gave Detective Hugo solid ground to work from. That official documentation of abuse would strengthen both the criminal investigation and our civil suits. I thanked him and hung up, then sat there staring at the pill organizer, because after weeks of feeling like maybe I was making too big a deal out of this, someone official was saying it actually happened, that what Mom and Mark did was real abuse with a paper trail to prove it. The bank called 2 hours later, and Agatha walked me through their internal review findings, how their analysts flagged the power of attorney's signature as potentially forged based on comparison with Dad's other documents on file. She said they were placing holds on any further withdrawals from Dad's benefits account while they completed their investigation, that this didn't get our money back yet, but it stopped Mom and Mark from draining more while we built the case. I asked how long the review would take, and she said probably another few weeks, that these things moved slowly, but the holds were immediate and enforceable. Dad asked what was happening, and I explained both calls, watching his face shift from confusion to something like hope, like maybe the system actually worked sometimes, instead of just crushing people who couldn't fight back. The restraining order hearing was scheduled for Monday at the county courthouse, and Artemisia met us in the lobby 30 minutes early to go over what would happen. She said the judge would hear from both sides, review the police report about Mark showing up in our parking lot, and decide whether to grant the order or dismiss it. We walked through security and sat on a bench outside the courtroom, Dad's leg bouncing the whole time, and then Mark actually showed up with some lawyer in a cheap suit. My stomach dropped because I'd half convinced myself he wouldn't bother, that he'd just let the order go through, but there he was, looking self-righteous and angry. The bailiff called our case, and we filed into the courtroom, Mark and his lawyer on one side, and us with Artemisia on the other. The judge asked Mark's lawyer to present first, and the guy claimed Mark never threatened us, that he was just checking on family after a difficult situation, and we were